Hello, good morning everyone. I, Ayushi Tyagi, a research scholar at Department of Forestry, welcomes you all in National Workshop on Farmers' Interaction on Sustainable Farming Techniques in Mizoram. I would, before the launch, let me first ask Professor S.K. Tripathi to acknowledge the presence of our eminent guests.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good morning to all of you. Uh, I'm very encouraged that our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor K.R.S. Sambasiva Rao, is present here on the dais, and another distinguished guest, Professor B.A. Chopade sir, he is also present here. Professor O.N. Tiwari from the ICR system, he is also present. We are trying to inform our farmers about the sustainable farming practices in the Mizoram. As a representative of forest, we have Pu Mathan here. He is president of this Bharatiya Kisan Sangh in this Mizoram. He is trying to do some farming practices, and I think I have many other farmer communities here. Some of them, they have not yet been reached, but we are waiting. Hopefully, I think in a time to come, in a few minutes more, I think we will have couple of more farmers and the resource person from the State Department agencies. So, okay. So, thank you, sir. So, hopefully, I think our Vice Chancellor, sir, is known to all of us. But some of the new farming community persons is there. He is a biotechnologist, has vast knowledge in the area of this microbe soil plant interaction. So he has worked in the different dimension. Even he has worked on the medicinal plants, and he is just trying to, so I mean the have some compounds, I think, investigated to make some medicinal formulations. So, sir is very known and renowned personality in the field of administration and the academic. So, he is leading our university for the last 4.5 years. And we are just thinking another, the couple of years, hopefully he will be guiding us. So thank you very much, sir, for your presence over here. I now would like to introduce you Professor B.A. Chopade, sir. Professor B.A. Chopade, he has done MSc and the PhD from the University of Nottinghamshire, England. He is a Egerty Fellow, NIH, University of Illinois, Chicago, USA. Colonel Commandant, Honorary to the Government of India. Former Vice Chancellor, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad. Sir has been a former Director, Institute of Bioinformatics and Biotechnology, Savitri Bai Phule, Pune University, Pune. Former Head of the Department of Microbiology, Savitri Bai Phule, Pune University, Pune. Program Advisory Committee, Chairman, Science for Equity, Empowerment and Development, Seed Division, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, Rashtriya Pramukh, Anusandhan Prakost, Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal. So, apart from that, he is a distinguished scientist, innovator, and academician of international repute. He is an institution builder, great visionary, research mentor, and proven innovator and administrator. After completing his PhD in Europe and the postdoctoral in the United States, he returned to India and joined University of Pune and developed excellent Department of Microbiology and the Soil and established Institute of Bioinformatics and Biotechnology, University of Pune. Under his distinguished leadership as a Vice Chancellor, in the Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, he has developed as a premier university in the country. This is the original and the pioneering contribution for higher education in India. Professor Chopade has also contributed significantly for the development of universities in India. He has mentored about 33 PhD students, 4 MPhil students, and 10 postdoctoral scientists, and 18 MTech scholars. They are placed all over the country, and some of them, they are taking positions outside the country also. Apart from that, Professor Chopade has several national and international academic honors. He was the Government of India scholar at the University of Nottinghamshire, England, and obtained PhD degree in the microbiology and molecular genetics. Under prestigious national overseas scholarship, Government of India, he has been to United States. It is important to note that this same fellowship was awarded to former President of India, K.R. Narayanan, as well as Professor Harvind Khurana, as an Indian Nobel laureate in USA. So he was also the recipient of the most prestigious formerly international NIH Research Fellowship Award from the Government of USA for postdoctoral research at the prestigious University of Illinois, Chicago, in the genetic engineering and microbiology. He has received a number of awards, and the most notable are prestigious award of the most outstanding vice chancellor in India by the World Education Congress in India. Apart from that, he has lots of awards and the honors. If I will go through, it will take a long time. So I just like to stop it here. But he is a very renowned person in the field of soil-plant microbe interaction, and that's why we have invited him to listen to him, so that how we can help the farmers or the farming communities for increasing their soil fertility and the crop productivity in the agricultural fields. Sir has published more than 150 research papers in the international reputed journals, and he has a H index of 54, I-10 index more than 100. Then I can come to this Professor O.N. Tiwari. Professor Tiwari has been a very renowned person. He has visited lots of countries, including 2-3 visits in the United States. He has lots of recognitions to in India and foreign countries. He is also a member of the task force in the 2-3 committees in the Department of Science and Technology, DST seed branch. Dr. Tiwari has been a very renowned academician. He has worked as a scientist in the IBSD, and during that time he has just isolated and characterized 28,000 microbes from the northeastern region only, including I think around 6,000 to 8,000 from this Mizoram only. And that has already been deposited to the repository in the Pune, I think he was telling me yesterday. So if anybody requires those kind of microorganisms or to work upon them, so then one can go over there and to collect that database. So we don't need to go for further characterization or isolation of those kind of microorganisms. So Professor Tiwari is also, and Professor Tiwari has brought us some biofertilizers of this cyanobacteria. Apart from that, he has some consortia of decomposers. If we can just go for the slashing without burning, if we can put those decomposers organisms into the field, we can spread somehow. They can decompose the organic matter in a few days only, or maybe in a month time. If they can decompose the nutrients, they will be released immediately to the farming communities, and they can go for this seeding, and after that they can increase their the soil fertility and the crop productivity in the region. That I will go in the detailed presentation. So thank you very much. And after this, I would like to introduce this Mathan. I think he is President of the Bharatiya Kisan Sangh here in the Mizoram. So he will be representing the farming communities of the Mizoram. I just wanted to have somebody here so that I think we can just have a representation that the kind of farmers that we have and the way how they are doing and what kind of support they are needed here so that we can go further. So, thank you, sir. I welcome you, all of you.
Thank you, sir. Now we will have our traditional auspicious lamp lighting ceremony as a tribute. For that, I request all the dignitaries to come up for the lighting of lamp. Thank you, sir. I would like to request Professor S.K. Tripathi to present a bouquet to Professor K.R.S. Sambasiva Rao. I would request Professor K.R.S. Sambasiva Rao, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, to present guest of honor to Professor B.A. Chopde. Now, Professor S.K. Tripathi, please present the gift to the Professor O.N. Tiwari. Thank you, sir. Now, moving further, I would request our chief guest, Professor K.R.S. Sambasiva Rao, our Honorable Vice Chancellor of Mizoram University, for his words of wisdom.
Good morning, everyone. Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Chopde, the former Vice Chancellor of Aurangabad Ambedkar University, Marathwada University, and Dr. Tiwari ji from IRI, and the Organizing Secretary, Professor Tripathi ji, and the farmer on the dais and farmers in front of the dais, and my colleagues. It is a great pleasure for me to have a meeting this kind of farmers interaction in our university for sustainable development of agriculture in Mizoram. As you all know that the agriculture development in Mizoram has got several issues to be addressed. It is a very important, pertinent topic for being organized here by inviting very good experts from Pune University and also from IRI. It is pertinent to mention, still the Mizoram people are still following the traditional Zoom cultivation for over several years, and even today also it has been followed. And this Zoom cultivation has got a lot of implications for environmental pollution and also biodiversity disturbance and pollution increase of pollution, and lot of issues are there. Though it is a traditional culture, Zoom cultivation is a traditional culture which has been followed by the farmers here, it should be replaced by the modern agriculture, which is not affecting the environment and also the society. Particularly the topics, I just gone through the program which was shown to me yesterday, the use of PGPR organisms for soil enrichment and also for improvement of nutrients in the soil, the topic which was highlighting to be the chief guest address is a very important topic to be addressed. I know that Mizoram government also has realized the importance of transforming the traditional Zoom cultivation to modern agriculture practices, particularly using the biofertilizers and bionutrients and mineralization for agriculture improvement, which will not only reduce the pollution being caused by the traditional Zoom cultivation and also disturbance of biodiversity, it also improves the production of agriculture production. For 1 acre of land in plain areas, you will be getting 3 crops per year. And on rotational basis, 3 crops are being cultivated in rotational basis. And they will be yielding more than 50,000 rupees per year. More than, approximately I am talking, more than 50,000 rupees per 1 acre of the land. But my understanding here in Mizoram is not getting that much yield. It is much lesser than the around 20,000 or 15,000 I was referred that I was mentioned that it was only that much cultivation production is coming up in Mizoram area. It is purely because the traditional methods which you are following, the Zoom cultivation, cutting of the crop and also getting again burning of the particular area and going shifting cultivation, you will be changing from one place to another place, and the farmer is also facing a lot of difficulty in getting traditional cultivation to be more production oriented and productive oriented also. And also they are not able to do multiple crops in a particular area. This is what actually need to be shifted without any disturbance to the environment. The multiple crop system has to be adopted in Mizoram also. I was having some information that it is in 2 districts it has been initiated, like Mamit district and Longle. I was informed that this kind of traditional Zoom cultivation has been shifting into the multiple crop system and also the modern agriculture pattern. This is what I was having some information. And for achieving sustainable agriculture growth, one need to have some kind of additional inputs using biofertilizers and bionutrients and bio composites into the agriculture system like PGPR organisms. Those PGPR organisms will enrich the soil quality, soil nutrients, and soil absorbance of nutrients and fixing the atmospheric nitrogen into ammonia. Multiple advantages are there when you are going to use that particular rhizobium bacteria. So the farmers has to be enlightened in this particular direction. How can the present production of agriculture production can be improved using the inputs of that kind of PGPR organisms which are of natural origin, and how the production can be improved in a particular limited area. So this is very important, high time for the farmers to understand. And shifting slowly from the Zoom cultivation, traditional Zoom cultivation, and shifting cultivation to the modern agriculture system, which is not going to affect the environment of our Mizoram. Because Mizo people has a feeling that we should not spoil our environment. we should not spoil the biodiversity. This is the major opinion of Mizoram people, that we should not spoil this. That is not going to be affected by using the PGPR organisms and other biofertilizers and biomaterials for this particular one. This sustainable agriculture growth will be possible. The farmer will have, very importantly, that reasonable production in the area which they are owning. But I saw in one of the area, the Mizo people are doing wonderfully. One of our MLA has brought me one day the watermelon of this size. You can't even believe this size watermelon. He brought two watermelons from his land which he grown up and he cultivated, and he brought. I cannot even eat that one particular one at least for 10 days. So I have given it one to my servant, and another one I ate almost more than 15 days. So watermelon which is being cultivated of this size is not is possible in plain area. They are doing wonderfully. What Mizo people are cultivating crops wonderfully with their traditional practices, and they themselves works in the fields, and they have art of culturing the various horticulture crops and fruit crops in a very efficient manner. I am not going to deny that they are not having techniques for culturing the agriculture output in the area. But still there is a scope for sustainable improvement, sustainable agriculture development in Mizoram. And the biofertilizers, bionutrients which we are talking about, that doesn't cost much. It is 1 kg of biofertilizer will cost only 15 rupees to 100 rupees. It won't cost more than that. The farmers will not have any kind of burden using these biofertilizers for utilizing them. And it is not going to affect the soil, it is not going to affect the environment. So this kind of awareness and enlightenment for the farmers is very essential, which slowly shifting from the traditional Zoom cultivation to modern agriculture practices will be more advantage for the Mizo people to improve further in that. And the second important point is that the production which they are going to get here need to have a facility for selling to outside people, and the online selling mechanism has to be provided to the farmers, and also knowledge has to be provided to the farmers how to sell the products which they are growing here. This is also very important point which need to be discussed and addressed here. Maybe if you all permit me, because I will take time because I have interviews at 10 o'clock, it is almost getting 9:50. I know several aspects which are glowing in my mind about the Mizoram agriculture activity. But I don't know, I cannot spend much time here because many experts are here. With the permission of all of you, I wanted to take permission for leaving this hall. Thank you very much.
Now, Professor S.K. Tripathi will give us some highlights of the program.
Good morning to all of you. I think we have 2-3 resource persons also here. They have arrived. So let us go to some highlights of the program, what we are going to do here. Because I think I have been working on the septic cultivation since I joined, and I got the the problems of the septic cultivation faced by the Mizoram farmers. So from the beginning I was thinking if I can come up with some tenable solutions for the farmers so that they can come up with some sustainable farming practices. So during the course of my study, this is a new project that I have started. But the earlier project, I think I will give you some brief what we have done. So now we are trying to. Okay, good. So this is, we are trying to have an innovative farming practice, the model that is for the sustainable crop production in Mizoram. So the existing practice of septic cultivation, all of us we know, but few of our guests, they may not be knowing about what the farmers they used to do. They used to go to the select the forest that is being allotted by the village council, and after they are slashing in the maybe dry season around December or January. They keep the slash vegetation over there for about 2 months, and in February and March, mostly March, when the vegetation gets dry, they burn it in situ, and after that, after few days, they put the seeds. When the first rain of a spell comes in about last of March or in the first week of April, then the vegetation grows. So this is the practice. This is I mean the slash field. This is the burning, seeding, and the cropping, how it takes place. Then after this, and we have investigated how the micronutrients, soil nutrients, even the plant microbes, even the temperature changes at the different succession of the vegetation. Here they have various kind of fallow ages. Earlier the fallow age was around 20 to 30 years. That was sustainable in the sense that the vegetation was getting the full time to recover the soil fertility. And after that, when they were going for the cropping, they could cultivate for 1 or 2 years. After that, when the fertility decreases and the crop productivity was decreases because of the decrease in the fertility, they abandon the vegetation for another 10 to 20 years. But when the population increased in the recent years, they could not maintain the fallow period for 20 to 25 years or 30 years. The fallow period has shortened now. It is for about less than 5 years. When it has come to less than 5 years, they could not get the production, and they do it for 1 year. They are getting some marginal production, and after that the fertility decreased and the weed competition arises. Then they are leaving the crop. But the problem that they are facing, that here I think the land tenure system is also a big problem. That the land allotted to the farmers, this is for few years only. So if they are going for any permanent farming systems, that may create a problem for them. That they need to have the permanent land for that. Or the government may like to have some kind of assistance to them. So maybe the next slide. Yes, maybe. If you can speak a bit.
Anh tin nghe thai lâu anh này tôi nên hùa han anh tin nghe crop production. Anh tin nghe thai anh thar chua thầy anh tiếc ha soi ta. Number one step at one, slashing of secondary generated forests of elephants. Heta hiya na soi chu thai anh nghe ni rồi.
Okay, please.
Kun thok tu ta khai omrin ka ria mizo tong kan soyanga tuna a soila ya khichu hemi zoom cultivation kan han tia lo kan han wa khian ki in mong khian ti khian lo kang lo ta da chuan khi tianga lo ti khian in engani leilung kan ral tu khan sat takin yani at kan leilung khan chiat pha ta ni mo chumi awang tak chuan in voinia kan training thu pui sustainable farming ti kha dai rei si lok thau si khan ing tin nge wan thai lo kan siam theng ti la kan sir chhuat ni don ta ni.
Okay. So earlier we did this. We had a DBT project on the impact assessment of zooming on native plants and the soil microbiota and the restoration of sustainable zoom agro ecosystems in Northeast India. This was project worth rupees around 5 crore rupees. The Mizoram University was one of the nodal center where we have worked. So we have, what we did, we have just developed a microbial bioconsortia. We have taken some plant growth promoting rhizobacteria from the early regenerating plants on the shifting lands. And from there we have put them into the organic manure, and then we apply to the natural field. We have three conditions. One was the control, Another was liter input, around 2 to 5 tons per hectare. In the another, we have microbial consortia. In the another treatment, we had taken the soil from the upper soil, top 5 centimeter from the forest floor, from the adjoining forest, and we spread over there. The idea was that when at the time of burning, when the soil microbes, they are getting disturbed in the upper soil layer, we can inoculate them. But we got the two better treatment results where we put the organic matter like a liter input that gave around 2 to 2.5 tons more production than the control, and the microbial consortia also works very well. It was also the produce 1.5 to 2 tons, 1.5 to 1.5 to 2 times more production than the control site.
Ti chuan MZU hianin tuna kan an saita kang khan leilung ven himna tuna ta na khating sir chian na project ka khan lo nei to a hilai slide ta kan mu khi khatiang sir chian lo nei tu sang sang te khan ya ta chuan MZU po kha pakhatan ni ta chuan biofertilizer kan sengayam kan mang to em lamang lo mo khi ta nei boya khian state agriculture department khian an nei thin bok ta biofertilizer khatiang chi yang de khanin hemi ran nung terau te mit lo mu tham the khatiang lo ang khatiang mang khanin leiti thatna tur ha siam then ni ta ni mo ti chuan hela MZU po hian I khatiang kha an lo siam ta chuan hemi lo wa na nu leilung khami ven thatna tur tan khanin khangang chi biofertilizer tele organic manure kan ti leitra arek vok ek bong ek kan tiang chi mo organic manure khatiang mang khanin zir chen na kanan nei ta chuan engma pe lo na le khatiang pek la muna khanan an khai khin ta ni ta chuan chumin zir chen na chuanin khatiang organic manure khatiang leitra khatiang tele biofertilizer manga leiti thatna khatiang anan ti khan athar chua kha khatiang engma pek lo control ai kha chut alet fe khana lo pung ta dai mai ta ni mo athar chua kha alok ta ezok ta ni.
Okay, thank you. The problems, I think, why we have this shifting cultivation, I would like to make some points. So it requires it has no requirements. Only some labor investment is there that the farmers they used to do. They have the skills are available from the forefathers. They don't have to do anything. They are well trained. Immediately they can go to the field and they can do activities and they can get some production. And even they can get some herbal medicines also from there. This sterilizes the soil, because if we are going on we had that the thinking that if we can decompose the litter present over there and we can go for the cropping, that we can do, but the weeds are coming, lot of weeds are coming. So weeding will be a major job. If they go for the burning, the weeding cost reduces. So this controls the weed and ultimately release the biomass locked into the nutrients. So immediately they can get the productivity and the land tenure system. These are some points that is, that is why the shifting cultivation is practiced here. And the problems are the loss of fertile topsoils through the erosion, that goes to the riverine ecosystems and that creates contamination over there, and that also makes a big problem to the river ecosystems. And even that goes to the different catchments, and even if it goes to the marine ecosystem, that ultimately has a big problem later on. Loss of soil moisture, loss of crop productivity, loss of biodiversity, environmental pollution through burning, food insecurity, and the low profitability, low farmers' income, and the poor employment prospects. So keeping in these problems, whatever the farming systems that we are going to design, that is trying to overcome with these problems.
Tichuan shifting cultivation kan ti tlangram lo nei kan ti akha enga tinge mizo te hian tlangram lo nei kha kan ti na chan kan ti chuan pakhat na chuanin ตางรำโลในตัวราคานินมันรัวง่ายฟักเขาอมโลตากันเทียมซามานักันปีเล่ปูเตจังกันเราตีชินดันสิรตีปง่ายเรากันเทียมซาขาโลนิตาเต็นขัดยังกันหันหาลขานินเลยขาเราติเทียงลิมเวมอขัดยังกันอย่างนี้เลยลุงว่าขันนัดตั้มตักรันนุง soil borne disease กันติดปกเราอมเวตานี่ข้างจีสงว่าขัดยังกันหันหาลขัดจวนนินข้างหาเราติดอย่างนี้เราถัดเวตาเราติดเลยขาเราติเทียงลิมเวทบกตาทิ้งกันเชื่อตรงนี้ในมิโซรัมจะรวดตุยตละตำตาจู่บางจนนิ่มปวดทั้งด้วยไม่นี่นิ่มมีกัน problem ประคัดข้านิตาขัดยังกันหาลไฟขัดจนข้างกัน problem ว่าข้าเราอมเหลาตาเต้นกันงั้นนี่กันรำอินในกันรำในด้านอาเฮียนเลนตินิโอซิสเต็มอาเฮียนขัดยังขันกดลาก VC เตพวกข้านินรำมันเทียอากุมเลยขัดยังขันกันอินทากวลทีนะข้างอ่างแต่ข้านินตางรำเหลาในข้ามิโซรัมอาเฮียนกันในทีนะมาเสจตีงตางรำเหลาในกันนันตีขันชัดเลวนะฮาร์สัตนะข้าอาเทียนเวตานี่ประคัดน่าจวนินเลยจุงล่างหางทราตบสวยกันตีข้าอาการรัลตานี่จู่อพยพไม่อาจารย์จู่เลยจุงล่างหางทราอินเซียมตุเรียนกุมสังขัดโดนง่ายดิโมอินจิขัดและมีฟอร์ติลสวยเลยหางทราอินเซียมตุเรียนกุมจารียตตั้งกุมสังขัดได้ยังไงวางินข้าเลยจุงล่างหางทรากัลรัลข้าอพยพไม่นี่เต็นดังเลยอาจารย์นินขัดยังไงshifting cultivation กันตีขันอัฐารชัวข้าอัตมเลยเทียนละว่าเต็นเราในตัวเตปโอเฮียนขัดยัง shifting cultivation ริงดให้มีตางรำเราในริงดที่จวนนินกันทารโลกเราตักเราตานี่จะมีเนี่ยวังจวนจวงหาสัตว์สังทีร์จงจวนนินเฮลายจะติวเฮียนข้ากันเราในด้านตัวชาโจกทิ้งตางเราในอายชาโจกตัวละข้าอันดีไซน์โมเดลละข้าอันเสียมชวกตาจะวันนี้กันนั่นใช้เอาตัวละจุดดอนตานี่
So, besides this shifting cultivation, the farmers they used to have different other practices also, like this is the plantation in the shifting cultivation on the sloping land. First slide, then the first picture, and the second they have terracing. They put some organic manures also on the terrace. Can you change the slide? This is a sloping land agriculture technology. This is also used in the Mizoram, in the Lunglai. I think most of the farmers, they are using the slope agriculture land technology where there are 2 nitrogen fixing shrubs which are very important. They are using alongside of this hedgerow alongside of the slopes. This Tephrosia macrophylla and the Tephrosia flamingia. Tephrosia flamingia has a thick branch. So when the slopes are very high, steep, they are putting this flamingia, macrophylla, and if the slopes are not that steep, they are putting this Tephrosia candida. This is a nitrogen, both of them, they are nitrogen fixing shrubs. When they are putting alongside of the strip and they put around 5 meter in between the row, they are going for the cropping. And even they have some horticulture crops also, medicinal crops also. And they do wonderfully. And this flamingia, this Tephrosia candida, it has some interaction with the weeds also. Even if they are chopping the Tephrosia candida, they are putting in between the rows that suppresses the weeds and promotes the agricultural crops. So this is a wonderful cropping pattern that is found in the Lunglai. So there are some other practices that the farmers they used to do the log bunding. These all practices are related to focus on the soil erosion. They would like to check the erosion through putting the log bunds in the different in between. And in between that area that is present in the log bunds, they go for cultivation.
Tuna slide kan muang ho wakha atlang pui thuin hemi soil conservation measure kan ti lei kalral tur ven himna ta na agani aski at ti dan phung tur thren khatani ta tuna khian ki khilai ama sabera khian kan muwa chuanin vaimim akati sorry so thing kha kemi lei stop mo oi pang khian ti khian aran sia zolan an siam ta teres an siam ta tiang ate chuan an ching ta ti chuan khatia zolan om khan zia chu soil conservation a hian atum bara chu ruati ron tlata a ti chuan kha ruat speed chaklu tuka kha ti muan angai ta ni chumi ti muan tu tan chon zol mo tere sang deuh te khatiang kha kan lo siam ta zol alo thlen kha chon a speed kha muang ta chon tu speed ta muan chuan khami leikal ral tur a chhuwa pui ha tlem ta ni mo tiang chon khi tiang practice te pokhin lo mang ta tin next slide ta khan khi tlang oi bang sira khan in thing an phun ta ni khi tiang thing ho khi an na ho khi anin hemi thai cho ta na poi mo tak mai nitrogen khan siam thei ta ni nitrogen fixing bacteria ten ti ta khi mi zia chu kan leilunga hian nitrogen thiam te om ta hemi atmosphere kan ti boru ka hian nine za som ko paret lai nitrogen kha om thung ta ni chu nitrogen ei thei tur chon khiti ang chi thinga dan phun zol khanin apui thei ta ti chon an na kha khami tere zol khan alo tla khom ta chu chuan khami soil fertility lei kha alo ti tha thei ta ni mo tiang chuan king tere zol kan an siama te pok hian khati ang chi nitrogen pai tam ang chi ang kha an phun tlar thin ta legal ral tur ven him na fe kan king ki mo khi chú trang khẩm kan ti mi zo te na ma ra kan pi le pu te tang kan sei to trang khẩm kan ti khamo ti hian kan lo an va ta ti khan thing le khati nga si ra khan an dol thin ta mo khi ti kan ti khian leikal ral tur kha alo venga chuan leilunga ti tha thin bok ani mo
Okay. Now we can come up with the objectives of the project. Because I have given some brief about the kind of practices that is operated here, and then how we can make the better practice to. So we are trying to establish an innovative farming model in the farmers' field for sustained crop production and the tribal empowerment in the Mizoram. We wish to demonstrate the benefits of the innovative organic farming involves the indigenous development of biofertilizer. We would like to integrate the various components of the high-tech agriculture based on the ecological principle of recycling of materials and increasing their efficient utilization by decreasing the waste as a byproduct. We wish to provide first-hand training to the farmers involving tribal women and the interface meetings of the farmers and the government departments to spread awareness about the existing scheme. This is the major objectives of the in the scheme that we are going to start.
ti chuan he project a atum bulpui objective hawa chu pakhat na chuanin nachina kan seita kang khanin tlang ram lo nei aya lok zok le thar tam zok tur tha zok ka kha atum bulpui bera chu di don ta chumi tan chuan eng tine kan kalpui ang ti model a kha tuna hian an zir chua tur chu di don ta tira dot le a chuanin organic farming kan ti chu ngani fertilizer te khang chemical pesticide kan ti te insecticide khang tel lova mo ti dan thazok ha organic farming lo tin thena turata na tia ta chon biofertilizer te po he Mizoram mil turang khan helai bunata na olsam khatiang turang ngai to na seng chung khanin organic farming kha kalpui dan turang ngai to anga tina dang le a chuan ti dan phung thazok le changkang zok technology tharla ma piang te khatiang chi mong changkai chung khanin le heng kan waste product kan ti kan man changkai lem lo kha ti man changkai dan tur te bin zir ti ranga tina to bera chuan abik takin mei chia te ati dan tur training le khatiang zir ti na voinia kan program me ang chiang te kha anti thin do na ni
Well, these are the methodology that we have just prepared. Like we'd like to establish two sustainable farming models by integrating the farm components with the high-tech farming practices, linkages with the ICR institutes, state government departments, financial institutions for technical policy and the financial assistance and the guidance, identification of direct beneficiaries as progressive farmers, formation of farmers cluster groups for model park management, encouraging farmers for cooperative organic farming through cluster groups, promotion of suitable varieties of cash crops like fruits, vegetables, breeds of farming animals, fish strains, poultry, and ensuring their supply.
ti chuan chu project อันกัลดานปุยอันกัลปุยดานตัวเมธอดมอเมธอดโลจีอาจวนประคัดหน้าจวนินฟาร์มปันหิอาคาอันเสียมโดนอันนี้มอโมเดลปันหิอาคาอันเสียมมังจุตาจวนินมันรัวขัดยัง agriculture ที่ละตานัดจังกังเลยขัดยังเกมาอัฐจอกเลยขัดยังตะคาอันมังงาที่นัดจุมีเราเลยอาจวนิน line department เนที่ยังจวนทอกโควินอัตุจูละขัดยังคานอันนินรอนกลางบุกงาเต็นจะมีตานจนให้มีโปรเจกต์ตานะเราในตู้อาคาเกมาเราในตู้จิงาโปอติชาเดอุเลอมุนมานในชาเตขัดยังตะกันทั้งชัวกังาที่นัดดังเลยอาจวนมีมัลนี่เราวินอากรุ๊ปโมอาซาวเฮากันเตียงจีเดาขัดยังเอาหัววังคาเสียมเลยอ่ะที่นัดดังเลยอาจวนนี่ยังไงนี่ organic farming ขัดยังกันติเทนตุลตานคาน cooperative society กันเตียงจีโม farmer club กันเตียงจีขัดยังจีตะโปคาเสียมาติตุมคานี่ยังที่นัดต่อไปราจวนให้มีกันรำเลยลุงมิลากันชายจีนตูโมขัดยังจีแต่ค่ะอันลงไอตัวดอนนี่เทียนี่โม vegetable อันหาลำจีตะโปไอ้งาโปค่ะเฮลัยมิลตูระค่ะอันทรงกันเตียงจวนเฮโปรเจกต์อาเฮียนกัลปีนตุมดอนนี่
These are the deliverables that we have. The people will be encouraged towards the sustainable innovative farming models using the ecological principles to utilize the natural resource and regenerate employment, especially for the tribal women, capacity building of the tribal farmers, to develop and apply bioinoculants from the well-adaptive healthy microbes as biofertilizer, development of sustainable model in the last. Then maybe you can come up with that. The next slide, I think, yes. This is the model that what we have proposed. We are going to take 2 farming fields in the 2 village communities where we would like to have this poly houses, this piggery, poultry, even fish, biofloc we would like to establish, and we would like to have this dairy animals, one cows. So the byproduct of all these components will be complementary to the farming communities, and even whatever we are producing from the farm, that will also be used as a cow or fishes or even the poultry and the piggery. So that way we can recycling the waste and the byproducts from the different components, and we can maximize the productivity of and the efficiency of the model. So this is the final outcome that we have in our mind.
Kilaya alem ki han ki lok bulangin ki he model mo organic farm model local dan tur chuni don ta chuan bong te po mga vok te pon vulanga ti chon khoi te po khan khoi don ani khoi hi poi mo me chu pollination tan hi ani ta chuan kan farm a khan khoi awm chuanin kan thai thar le kha tinga kha a thapik thei ta ni pollination na tan khan an poi mo wangin tiang chuan bong te khi tiang a ek le kha tiang a jun te kha tiang zong zong kha thai tan khan mang tang kai le nga tiang chuan enga ni pai tur po om lem lo ni farm ka tinga kan an ti khi chuan ta chuan enga ni sangha te po akalanga ti an khoi po ka nga tiang chuan i khami a huan thai ba ka khanin ran vul te ne tang khom khanin ki model a khi anan ti chua ka nga chu tiang nga a model a khe lo tho tin thei chuan mi dang te po khanin khi tiang nga ti ve tu khan mi dang te po kan fui phur thei chuan ni ti a kha atum bulpui pakhat chuni don ani.
So during those models, we would like to involve some progressive farmers from the 2 villages. Apart from that, we have in the Sheen, some apple varieties are very successful here in the Mizoram. We are trying to bring that saplings from the quality apple. You can see here, this is growing in my garden, here in the Mizoram University campus only. So in 2019, we had around 10 plants. So 4 or 5 of them they are alive. There is a very good apple variety. So that photo I have just taken from my garden only just to show you. if we can arrange about 1,000 or 1,500, because the time when we were developing this proposal, this idea was not there in our mind, but later on we were thinking, so we will try to arrange some saplings and we would like to provide it to the farmers, different farmers. They can grow to their fields or even the households. They can grow apple even nearby the university or spread to the different villages in the Mizoram. So we can transform this, the hearty based. And we have this biofertilizer, algal biofertilizer with the help of Professor Tiwari and the decomposing microbial consortia. This is available here with us already. We would like to provide it to the farmers so that they can try here in the different farmers farming field and they can see the output.
Tichuan ki tu na kan mu ki apple la ni ta Mizoram a chuan apple hi chin thei lo kan ngai deuh thina ni kan chi ngai lo bokatiru acha na chu apple chu ram vot mo mun vot ma mo ngai khani ta a ama ro chui hela ya kan professor hian MZI wa hian alo ching to kum sang ni le som pathuma khan tichuan ki ara ki lo om thei ta ni tiang chuan kan la chin vak ngai lo apple te chu kg a za som nga za ni ai na tlom ngai lo ta thei lok tak khani don ta chu achi atria ka kha sang khat vel ten ngai tuanga chuan khi mi project noya kian heng ta poiti pui chawan tum don ani bo tin an hoi mi khi biofertilizer kan soi bu chi na ta na thatak mai kha khania heta hian an nei sa to chung te po chu an pedon cheu ni.
So those who may be interested for this apple or the biofertilizer, they can inform us. We will provide that. I am trying to arrange the saplings of the apple and I would like to distribute it free of cost to the farmers. So we will try to manage that money, there is no problem. So these are the expected outcome. Sustainable crop production practice, this involves this organic farming that will help in minimizing the cost of the production and increasing the farm income from the variable sources. Multiple components will improve the farm income and can offer a better employment opportunity for the rural poor. Improvement income level will help in improving the socio-economic condition of the rural poor. This will help in minimizing the negative impact of slash and burn agriculture for the crop production. This will improve the supply of vegetables and the other cash crops for which the state is dependent on the other state.
Tichuan semi project ti zo nuwa chuan in outcome mo a result lo lang tura base ye chu pakhat na chuan in lo nei dan thazok le dai rei zok tharlok zok boxi a kha helaya lo nei tu ten kan lo thra chuak theyanga tina panina chuan in kan thar chuale engani bidang te tan po khan e zon na tur kong a kha alo in hong vele theyanga ti chuan khatianga kan thar chu alo tam chuan in kan chung ko khosak din mun mo po kha lo changkan pha ve theyanga ten khatianga khami model kha lo ho tin thei chuan in khatiang chi ram kan hala lo kan hala kang khatiang chi ang laka khanin engani boruak chia laka te po khan kan veng lo theyanga khatiang chi tlang ram lo nei zoom cultivation kan tia thalawang chi te kha kan lo tikiam theyanga chuna top bera chuan vegetable ka khatiang chi an na kan tiang chi te cash crop kan ti thlai lok kan tiang chi mo khang te kha kan lo in to del as well thei don ta ni.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for this briefing. Now I would like to invite our guest of honor, Professor B.A. Chopre, to oblige us with his few words.
The distinguished scientist of our country, Professor N. Tiwari ji, from Indian Agriculture Research Institute, Pusa, New Delhi, Professor Shrikant Tripathi ji, and the chairman, I think, of Kisan Sangha in the Mizoram, all the senior professors in the university, और मेरे सभी किसान भाइयों, सबसे पहले मैं सभी किसान भाइयों का मैं स्वागत करता हूं मैं आपका अभिनंदन करता हूँ। मैं भी एक किसान का लड़का हूँ। खेती कैसी करनी है, खेती में क्या करना पड़ता है, ये सब मुझे मालूम है कि मैंने खेती की है और आज भी मैं खेती करता हूँ। जो मैं गांव में जाता हूँ, मेरे जो बड़ी भाई हैं वो खेती करते हैं, आज भी मैं खेती में काम करता हूँ। खेती के सभी जो प्रैक्टिसेस होते हैं वही सभी का मैं उपयोग करता हूँ और खेती करने में मुझे बहुत आनंद लगता है। मेरा ऐसा विश्वास है कि हम जब खेती करते हैं तो निसर्ग के सानिध्य में रहते हैं। आज जब कोई इंसान और किसान निसर्ग के सानिध्य में रहता है तो उसका प्रकृति अच्छी रहती है, मन अच्छा रहता है, शरीर अच्छा रहता है ना, और उसके साथ साथ वो किसान नई क्रिएशन भी कर सकता है कि क्रॉप से माध्यम से ना। इसलिए मैं आप सबका स्वागत करता हूँ। आज का जो कॉन्फ्रेंस का विषय है ना, प्रोफेसर त्रिपाठी जी ने बताया कि आप लोग तो ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग करने वाले हैं। अभी मिजोरम में ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग बहुत बढ़ रहा है। ये बहुत सौभाग्य की बात है, अच्छी बात है। आप तो जानते हैं केमिकल फर्टिलाइज यूज़ करने के होने से क्या होता है। हाँ, okay, I'll talk in English. Okay. Very briefly, I'll tell you that organic farming is, I think, becoming, very popular in Mizoram. In other words, people have realized the importance of the organic farming in the Mizoram, which is very, welcome state, I believe for sustainable agriculture, organic farming, is one of the a very good, initiative. And second point, which I realized from Professor, Tripadi's, lecture, development of indigenously developed biofertilizers. A बहुत बड़ा, this very good, initiative, again, which you are going to, make use, I sincerely believe that the biofertilizers are very important for modern Indian agriculture. And of course, all over the world, On 30th, of the July, 2022, this one news came from United States Department of Agriculture, USDA. And that news is about what is the world market, for the biofertilizers. And you will be astonished to know the world market estimated by Organic News in 2022 to 2028 in $19 billion. Now 1 billion is 8,500 crores. 1 billion means 8,500 crores into 19. So you can be able to imagine the quantum, of the market available for organic fertilizers all over the world, of course, including Asia, and obviously, Bharat too, Because Bharat is one of the major, agriculture country. And subsequently, maximum, agriculture biofertilizers are also being manufactured, synthesized, prepared, and applied in India. But again, as I said to you, is not at that much high level, in that. So this huge market for the biofertilizer. Now, there is one important point which I want to indigenously developed biofertilizer. I want to share to you from my agriculture practices that it's very important that every country, every region, every geographical region has specific ecosystem, geography, soil climate, soil environment, soil physics, soil chemistry. हम तो कहते हैं, we also say in Maharashtra, we say, हर एक जमीन का एक आत्मा होता है. That means this is soul to the soil. Professor Tripathi, every soil has a soul. Like human body, we have the soul. Soil also has the soul. And that soul gives rise to the new life, creation of new life in terms of plants, in terms of crops, in terms of microorganisms, in terms of biodiversity of trillions and trillions and trillions of microorganisms. Isliye, that's why I'm saying to you, it's an unseen world, a soil has a soul, And therefore, indigenous biofertilizer is going to be most useful, for Mizo people, Now, I just saw the presentation and also read before, coming over here. The agriculture situation in Mizoram is very, very distinct, I think. I have been telling Professor Tripathi that Zoom agriculture practices, I think. And I sincerely feel that you have to really do something creative work to stop the Zoom practice of agriculture or Zoom shifting of agriculture and try to follow innovative agriculture practices. It's a possible. I can share with you, when I went, I think, to Japan, 3-4 times, I think, Japan has also lots of, I think, the soils, I think, like rice cultivation in Japan, they are doing on the slopes, I think, in that, One slope of 3 to 4 meter, 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter, 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, I think, at that slope. And they across the slope, I think, of mountain, they continue, I think, rice cultivation. What I sincerely feel is this. Can we follow this kind of the cultivation of agriculture cultivation practices in our Mizoram? It's a possible. And I can say rightly because as son of a farmer, I am saying with my practice, I think, it's a possible. In Maharashtra, we have a large number of mountains, I think. You call it Sahyadri. Like Himalaya in North India, we have Sahyadri in Maharashtra. And as we have, my village is at the foothill, I think, of mountain, Sahyadri mountain. And we have grown rice on the slopes, I think, of that mountain, Sahyadri mountain, I think, in 3, 4, 5 acres of my land, I think, that, And we have been getting a successful cultivation of rice with the slope cultivation, I think, I sincerely feel that it's a possible, I think, in case, I think, of the Mizoram also, I think. It's question of, I think, employing the practice of the agriculture, I think, and developing and making the practice, I think, and start doing that one. I sincerely feel Zoom practices of agriculture are, in fact, not good from biodiversity point of view, environment point of view, sustainability point of view. And I sincerely feel that if you would be able to use, I think, the biofertilizers, for example, I think, certainly, I think, employing the organic farming, consisting, I think, biofertilizer, and this new practice, I think, which I told you, slope, I think, cultivation methods, I think, is a possible, I think, Mizoram can able to revolutionize agriculture in general, with respect, I think, to the crop plants, with respect to the rice, and many, I think, fruit plants too, I think, it's a possible, I think, This is what I sincerely feel, I think, I got, I think, from the presentation of the Tripathi. And in the afternoon, I think, after this, I think, in the session, I think, I'll throw my views, I think, research in PGPR. Of course, मैं जानता हूँ कि कॉम्प्रेस में किसान बंधव है, मैं वो आपके लेवल से बात करूँगा, डोंट वरी. मैं आपके भाषा में बात करूँगा, भाषा में तुम्हारे मिजो भाषा तो मुझे आते नहीं, लेकिन एक छोटे छोटे शब्द में आपको बता दूंगा इतना कि क्या पीजीपीआर का चमत्कार क्या है एग्रीकल्चर में, कैसा एग्रीकल्चर बदलाव हो सकता है ना. दैट आई विल डिस्कस विथ यू, आई थिंक, इन माय नेक्स्ट प्रेजेंटेशन. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you, sir. Taking a step forward into the program, I would invite our guest, Professor O.N. Tiwari, for his guidance.
Namaskar. Good morning. Topics: innovative farming model for sustainable crop production in Mizoram. Before me, you have listened to Professor Chopade. He visited first time in this beautiful state, but I am very much familiar with the entire Northeast region. I worked almost 11 years in Northeast region and visited all 8 states, that is known as 8 sisters. I know about the problem facing by the farming communities. We'll discuss in detail in my presentation. Here I would say, first I would like to salute to all the farmers. We are here, you are here because of these farmers. Our GDP was in minus 24% in our sector. If suppose the same things will be continuing in agriculture, then what is the fate of our life? Government is saying that we are supplying more than 80 crore people per month free ration. This is the big achievements of the present government. They are saying that we uninterruptedly we are giving 5 kg rice, 5 kg wheat, there is 1 liter mustard oil, salt, sugar, everything. From where it is coming? It's not coming from the USA, not coming from the Europe. It's coming from the only you people. You people give miracles. Otherwise, our GDP was minus 24%. However, agriculture sector was plus 4 to 6. So this is my words. I do from my core heart salute to all the farmers who are representing from the different parts of the Isle and Mizoram. You are here, you are. So my voice, for me, only farmer communities are the real hero of this country. You are sitting here, we are sitting here, everyone sitting, roaming here. We are surviving because of your hard work, your dedication to the country. Only you people have produced your food. Even when you were not allowed to come out from your homes in 6 months, even more than that, country was locked down. But our farmers, only of our farmers, provided the food, and 80 crore people are getting per month ration from the government of India, from the different schemes. Otherwise, no scope in the manufacture sector, no scope for the automobiles, no scope for any sectors of the government of India, except the farmers. So this is the platform actually, where whole day, today we are going to discuss, particularly in my case, I will touch your real problem, what kinds of problem you are facing in your farming systems, and what will be the best remedy to improve your productivity and to get your good earnings. Only if you are able to increase your earning per month. Suppose today if you are earning 100 rupees per day, so that 100 rupees what you are doing? Eating? You are not able to provide the good education of your children. You are not able to provide the medicines of your old mother and father, because you want to do all these things, but you don't have the resources. Suppose from the good agricultural practices, if you are earning 200, so that 100 rupees is good enough for your providing the good education of your children, because children is our future. And we are able to serve in this way to our old parents. So if earning is increasing, we can utilize that earnings for so many purposes. That is the socio-economic upliftment of the community. We'll discuss all these things in detail. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time for high tea. I would ask you all to join us for high tea, and afterwards we will meet again for first technical session on this workshop. Thank you.